Okay, this is mini lecture 5. Today we're going to be talking about human-environment interactions. In our previous lectures we've talked about location, place, and now we're going to begin to ask the question of how humans and the environment interact. And that's really one of the key themes in geography is if we ask the question of why do things occur where they do, oftentimes there is this interaction between the physical context, that is what the environment gives us, and how we respond to that and how we modify it. So what I want to do today, again, is just very briefly, we're going to look at this idea, human-environment interaction, and again, definitionally, that's the relationship between people and the environment. One way that we can think about this is both people use their environment for resources and for other applications in terms of land use, land control. But then there are also the natural constructs and constraints. That is, we are limited by, to some degree, by climate. We are limited by natural disasters, catastrophes of various types. Then we also modify those things. We interact with them. Humans adapt. And in fact, humans change things. So let's take one case and look at how this interaction occurs. So we have the Mississippi River Basin. The Mississippi River, the longest river in the United States and by far the largest drainage basin in the United States, starts far north in Minnesota and ends up in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, along that, though, so we have a very large river that connects many of our states and really the breadbasket of the United States. So that is a resource, in a sense, the river. But human beings recognized that the navigation of the river was a challenge. And so over the past century and a half, almost 2 centuries, various locks and dams have fundamentally altered that system. In fact, you can see all of the lock and dam systems all the way down the Mississippi River as it moves towards the Gulf of Mexico. Now, those locks and dams physically alter the environment, but they exist where they do because of the natural constraints of the river. In other words, the river provides some limits. Human beings respond to those limits, adapt to them, and in fact modify them. Here what you see is both a dam system, so here's the dam going across, and then this is actually a lock system where a barge is being moved through this system. You can kind of see that in this lower area here. So again, human response, modification to the natural environment. Now, we can also see this in terms of things that are not quite as direct. Here we have baseball. And this is an absolutely perfect example of kind of a baseball stadium style. This happens to be Modern Woodmen Stadium in Davenport, Iowa. And again, for various reasons, not unlike the Pirates Stadium in Pittsburgh, it's built right on the river. And it's a great view, wonderful place to watch a baseball game. This is a AAA stadium. But there are also risks to that. This is the stadium this week. And as the Mississippi River has flooded its banks and in fact flooded much of Davenport and many towns and cities up and down the Mississippi River, things like this have to be evaluated in terms of, was this a good decision in terms of the modification of the environment, and how should we really understand the environment? The other question that might be asked here is the environment changing so significantly that some of the human adaptations and modifications no longer function the way we expected them to. So, human-environment interactions are constantly changing, we are constantly responding and modifying, and environment pushes back. That's it for this lecture. We'll see you next time.